I just wanted people to think, and I put up something and people were putting their own perspective and spin on it, and then they put words into my mouth that I never say, and then they start, then it starts trending in all of these, these big newspapers and news articles, and you're like, do you know me? Like, get to know me. Like, I told, they're transgender people. I was like, let's talk. I'll look you in your eyes. You're not gonna, you're not gonna feel hate. I promise you.
Hey yo, what's up you guys? So I'm coming to you with another video in my MVRCK series, making videos, really controversial kinda, and we are talking yet again about Gina Carano. We went from fire Gina Carano to Gina Carano is on fire, and this is coming from her interview with Ben Shapiro on his show, The Sunday Special. Let's get into it. But first, of course, if you're new to my channel, what is up? My name is Mitch, Maverick Mitch. Hey Mitch, all the Mitches, and pretty much I like talking about what I'm talking about. So current events, reviews, and pop culture within the scope of entertainment, culture, and purpose. So TV, movie reviews, social political commentary. Be sure to check out all those videos as you're finishing this video. Alright, getting into this video, I love this interview, okay? So this is Gina Carano's first interview since all the debacle that has been around her firing from The Mandalorian and everything, and she's sitting with Ben Shapiro for his Sunday Special, and obviously it was a great take because not only did we get to see her talk from her own mouth, talking through us the whole how did we get here situation into a little of her backstory, which I found really surprising. I didn't know that she was a native of Las Vegas, and not to say that I'm a super Las Vegas, but I've been living here for quite some time. So shout out to Gina Carano for living in Las Vegas 702. And so going into this, we also learned about how, like I said, how she got into this, and then also her MMA career and what she has planned with Ben Shapiro moving forward and everything. And I think there's a lot of takeaways here. To me, she comes up as being very genuine, and it finds it so surprising for someone who is in the ring fighting for MMA with all this stuff, and someone who's an actor. She seems very emotional as a person. She feels like a very caring person, and she doesn't come off as, and I take this as genuinely as possible. I don't think she's faking it. Well, we don't know, right? Maybe she's maybe she's that good of an actress, right? But I took this as very genuine, she really wants to care about people, like all of these things. Like, she may be a hard person on the outside type thing, but she's still human, right? All of these things do get to her, and I think that's important to learn, because when people put keyboard warriors in general, left, right, what, center, we don't really think about the person that we are talking about. We rarely believe that. And as someone who's a YouTuber who puts themselves out there, I do get these hate comments, and I'm not saying they affect me generally, but there's some I do think about it, and especially coming from Facebook comments that are from family members saying things that are bad about me. I only take a faction, a small faction of that, right? And if that kind of at least makes me think, or makes me feel a little bit bad, and when I put something that is totally blown out of proportions, kind of like a Gina Carano situation, could you imagine that being amplified to the 10th degree, And so you feel for her, right? And I like all of this stuff, and all of this stuff, if you walk through it, it's not super controversial, right? It's just the people on the outside that are making fire to it and everything. And so, but what I want to get into, at least in this video, is pretty much her red pill. This is why I love this, because she goes into the video, and you can watch the whole video in its entirety. I'll link it below. But there's this idea in which she was never political. All of this stuff was just kind of here or there, right? It wasn't anything in which she had a larger agenda. She wasn't trying to impose her thing. She just wanted hey, this is what people are thinking, and this is what I'm thinking type thing. And the fact that she red pill herself is so great. This is the same story as anyone from the Walkaway movement, anyone from anything else that you are just looking into this and you're just like everything is just making sense for you, you know, it is such a red pill moment. And I love this because people who fans of Gina Carano are gonna start learning about more about Ben Shapiro and Daily Wire, and the people who are fans of Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro and Michael Knowles are gonna learn more about Gina Carano, right? And so this is such a win for everyone, right? Let alone that, like, I hope Disney, Lucasfilm, the Kathleen Kennedy types are gonna be screaming because, like, how are you platforming this girl? So we'll get into it and talk some more.
Obviously, we here at Daily Wire have been foraying into the film industry. We had released our first film a little bit earlier this year, Run, Hide, Fight. Our audience really loved it. And when we saw that you were trending, my business partner Jeremy and I, we thought, the first thing we thought was, number one, somebody should reach out to Gina because she's getting maligned unfairly. But number two, we should reach out to Gina because this is an opportunity for conservatives and people who think differently to say to Hollywood that you're not allowed to just cancel whomever you want. And I mean, I have to say that I was amazed at how readily you were willing to jump into a project with derelicts like us and willing to get involved in one of our projects because it is a unique thing. I mean, in Hollywood, typically the advice is keep your head down, make an apology, maybe in 3 or 4 years you can sort of wheedle your way back into the industry, but you didn't do any of that. You were basically ready to go from the moment I gave you a call. Wanted to get your perspective on that.
Well, because, you know, in my newfound, you know, finding my political voice, you're actually one of the people I found. As well as a bunch of, your book was the first one I read. And it just really kind of, it was so simple that it really kind of explained like the events in such a, you know, in such a good way to where it was like, it just felt logical. It felt logical. So I'm obviously like so excited that you called. I was, you know, I was prepared to at any point get let go.
Okay, so I just love that. Okay, so I love that, you know, Ben Shapiro, when this thing dropped, like already 2 weeks ago now, when Gina got fired, and then the calling in which Ben Shapiro was calling Gina immediately, and how all of that happened really fast. I loved all of that, right? Because like Gina Carano was saying, like in this interview, she was saying like how things kind of just happen, kind of like really kind of like blessings in disguises, right? Like when she was in the lowest moments, she would get this opportunity, and this is no different, right? And I just love that, right? And so, but I love how she says, like, when she was getting into her research, she was watching Ben Shapiro, and it felt logical. It is logical, right? Right? And I just love that because, like, that's for many people, that is the red pill journey, right? And so, like, for me, it was watching the Ben Shapiro destroys liberal, whatever, the videos, and I loved it. And then you start watching these long form interviews, right? And walking through these things, and it's going off of actual arguments rather just going off of I feel that, emotion that, right? And so it is great, and yeah.
Because I've seen this happen to so many people. You know, I've seen the looks on their faces. I've seen the bullying that takes place. They've quit Twitter, you know, they've quit speaking. They show up to their red carpets and they're depressed and they're sad and there's hard hearts there. And I was like, you're coming for me. I know you are. They're making it very obvious through their employees that were coming for me. And so I was like, well, then I'm gonna go down swinging then, and I'm gonna stay true to myself. And I'm going to let that speak. And I think that's speaking. So when you called, I'm still like, my body's still shaking. You know, it's still devastating. But the thought of this happening to anybody else, especially like somebody who could not handle this the way I can, no, they don't get to do that. They don't get to make people feel like that. And if I buckle, then little girls and little boys who are not getting any, they're not getting a good, fair shake at growing up right now. If I buckle, it's going to make it okay for these companies who have a history of lying to be lying and to do this to other people. And they've done it to other people. And I'm not going down without a fight.
Well, we couldn't be more excited to be working with you, obviously, and you can see that the left is creating a whole new cottage industry for us, because as they keep canceling people for no good reason, we are perfectly happy to work with talented people.
Again, I love that, and I think that also, like, I love that, you know, Gina Carano wants to fight, like, and not like physically, but like fight because this is not only the right thing to do, and be for your principles, but like she wants to be the actual hero that she plays as her character, Cara Dune, and be the, like, a person, the symbol, whatever, for the rebellion, for the people who cannot, you know, like, and that I think that's so inspiring, right? And so I love this, right?
And the movement's been insane. I'm busier than ever. I can't even keep up with it because I lost, you know, half my team. I can't even keep up with the incoming. I mean, there's so much, and I'm trying to, like, read all the scripts, but, like, it's so exciting. I mean, I said it earlier this year that, like, I want to do my own, you know, project. I have dreams. I want to push it here. I want to produce. I want to, you know. And I was really excited about that. I just didn't think it was going to come like this. Like, I didn't think it was going to, like, really, like, I knew it could be a possibility, but when you think something's a possibility and then it happens, you're like, wow, like, it's like that. Huh?
And it's scary, and it did take courage for you to do that, as I say before, like the typical Hollywood move. And I know so many people in Hollywood, right? I was living in LA until 5 minutes ago. I wrote an entire book on television. I have a lot of friends who work in Hollywood at the highest levels, and when I get together with them, we have a rule, which is that we used to get together at the Coffee Bean on the corner of Coldwater and Ventura Boulevard, and we wore baseball caps, and we'd go early on a Sunday morning.
I'm pretty sure I know the Starbucks that he's talking about. I think my cousin used to work there, and I would try to apply for that. But, you know, like, I think this should be a thing. I think people should, like, we should, like, get a group of friends and go to that particular Starbucks on a Sunday morning.
Because the idea was that if we were ever spotted publicly together, then these people would be canceled, and they knew this. And
isn't that insane? Like, somebody new to the, you know, political world. I mean, I'm sitting there thinking, like, you know, I'm like listening to a lot of you guys and, like, listening. I'm like, you guys were making the most sense to me. That was all. Like, you guys seemed intelligent, well-spoken. You're speaking some truth. You're calling out, like, hard truths. And that's why I was like, okay, you know, like, you know, that's why I kind of have found myself on this side, you know, I guess. And,
welcome to the rebellion. It's like, this side. This is Red Squadron, like, Red Leader checking in. Red October checking in.
like, I would go down and, you know, like, to a barbecue on the beach in California, and all these people are like, hey, we agree with you. It's messed up, isn't it? And I'm like, this is your house. Why are you whispering?
that is certainly the attitude in Hollywood.
It's insane to me.
it is overwhelming in Hollywood, and the number of people who are in positions of real power in Hollywood who agree with us on politics.
Yeah.
I love this. It's like so, like, coded, like, you know, like, what I know, what you know, like, we know. And, like, we're on the same side.
Significant. There are a significant number of people in power, but they also understand that their career is on the line, and they're deeply afraid that their number is going to get pulled next. And you see it week in and week out. I mean, the same week that they canceled you, they went after Chris Harrison on The Bachelor for the great sin of suggesting that a female contestant ought to be given grace after she went to an Old South costume party 3 years ago. And he ended up being suspended. He made an apology, which you should never do, never apologize to the mob. And he ended up being suspended from the show, essentially for the rest of the season. He may never get his job back. This is the thing that people in Hollywood are deeply afraid of. But unlike those people, you actually had the courage to say, okay, well then, you don't want me here? Fine, I'll just go do my own thing.
Yeah.
And that does take a certain amount of stones. frankly.
I don't know. That's the way I've lived my life, and that I wasn't going to stop now. It's not that I didn't love the job, you know. I felt that what was happening, the silencing that was happening, the fear of having open conversations that was happening, I felt like that was insanely wrong, and I don't want people to be afraid. It hurts me. I don't want to speak. I don't want to talk about it, but like, I don't want people to be afraid.
Alright, so wrapping it up, final notes on everything. So again, I'll link it below the whole interview. It's an hour long if you want to go ahead and check it out. And I guess they have more stuff, more of the interview on thedailywire.com, so be sure to check that out if you are interested. But again, I just want to drive the point, like, I love this interview. I love how red pill it is, just because, again, she is going through the process of cancel culture and all of this stuff. And if anyone needs, like, for everyone, their red pill moment is a little bit different. For me, it was outrage culture. It was all of these things on YouTube and all of these things on Facebook showing me all of these hate things, making people want to click it for, like, engagement, you know. And for Gina, it's pretty much her being canceled. Well, prior before that, all of this stuff, like, throughout 2020, and then obviously the final note was, obviously she was leaning towards the right more and more and more, but you know, this is a set in stone type thing, like point of no return type thing. So obviously that's super great. Lastly, I guess I want to end with, again, if the whole thing was fire Gina Carano, I just want to emphasize with this interview, Gina Carano is on fire, you know? Like, I don't know if Gina Carano, you're gonna watch this video, but like, maybe, just maybe, you want to do a video, a movie, produce a movie, whatever, that you can be a fire-based character. I know you already did, like, a Marvel character for the Deadpool movies, and obviously you were on The Mandalorian, so obviously creating something original would be something cool. Not to say that you have to be like a full-on firebender pulling from the Avatar Last Airbender world, but it'll be kind of cool that you have a fire-based power. And I only say that just because I would love to capitalize and reclaim this fire, Gina Carano, and change it up to Gina Carano is fire, you know, that you have fire-based power with. Maybe it's like a fire breath or like fire fist or whatever. I don't know what you want to do it as, but like, I would love to see you in a supernatural epic or whatever, and obviously creating something original would be kind of cool, you know? I don't know what that would look like, and of course it's your movie, so whatever you feel comfortable. But I don't know, as someone on the outside going on inside, if I were to look at anything, I think the dystopian genre is something really cool. I mean, we are living in this amalgamation of different dystopians, right? Like dystopia stuff, you know, cancellation and control of the government, ministry of truth, like all of these dystopian ideas are all kind of being realized in the 2020s, and so I think a dystopian movie would probably work best. So anyway, that's just a little bit tidbit of my thoughts out there in the universe and everything. Maybe she'll see this video. So again, thank you for watching. You can follow me on my Instagram at HeyMitch. You can follow me on my joint Instagram at It's Mandatory Fun, where I do other videos with my friend Jen. I'm also on Parlor. Parlor's back. Maverick Mitch. And see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace, peace, peace. Be with you.